including those lives reliant on the health of our oceans. Projections suggest that without aggressive action, we are on track for a 2.9 degrees Celsius rise by the century's end, passing a point of no return for our oceans. And the impact on all of us will be profound.
What scientists are telling us now is that the threat of an ice age is not as remote as they once thought. During the lifetime of our grandchildren, Arctic cold and perpetual snow could turn most of the inhabitable portions of our planet into a polar desert.
And we see that we didn't have runaway global warming. Of course we had climate change. It's quite natural. It happens all the time. But what we did have is 6 major ice ages. And there is no correlation over geological time between carbon dioxide in the atmosphere and temperature. In fact, it is the past that shows us that carbon dioxide does not drive global warming.
Well, folks, I'm beginning to think that climate change alarmism is a massive, massive hoax. No, I'm not beginning to believe that. I have believed that for a long time, and especially since COVID. Since we saw that COVID was an excuse for the biggest transfer of wealth in the history of the world. So many people gained from that weren't us, okay? About 10 people. So one including Bill Gates, of course. So let's take a look at this. Of course, there was John Kerry's daughter, who is now the princess of, I think she's taking the place of Greta Thunberg. I think they ditched Greta Thunberg, and she's moved on to the pro-Palestine protests. She doesn't care about environment anymore. But she does believe in whatever is convenient or garners her attention. So let's take a look at this. So Kerry's daughter, she's supposed to be the voice of reason. But when they use these voices, this gravitas and this theatrics, it already makes me suspicious. But let's go through this because we've been through this. I think most of the last century, all the way up till now, climate change alarmism, weather alarmism, ice age alarmism, you name it. And it's kind of the laundering, as I've said in the past, of the industrial climate complex, right? Or you could say the industrial anxiety complex, because they're constantly trying to drum up our fear and anxieties all the time. And so some people have come out and said things like, well, my girlfriend was talking about this the other day, that people are coming out and saying, well, we're not going to have kids because of climate change. We've decided not to have children, all this stuff. And I'm like, well, you're playing right into their hands, but that's fine, whatever you want to do. So, yeah, here's John Kerry's daughter, who has taken up the mantle of the rich getting richer, because that's what it's really about, folks. It's just about these people saying, we're going to charge you. We're going to charge you for breathing air. I'm dead serious. We won't produce anything. We are not going to produce anything. We are simply, and we're not going to give you anything in return. We're going to simply charge you for breathing, okay? And it's the biggest scam ever. It's basically charging you for existing and going, yep, they'll never know. They'll think that the earth is going to fall apart like immediately tomorrow. And that way we can tap into their anxiety, and we can go ahead and charge them for it. And we don't have to do anything. We don't have to make a product. We don't have to sell a product. We don't have to do anything. We just simply take their money and they'll give it to us. And if they don't give it to us, we'll initiate CDBC, digital currency, and then just take those taxes out of their money, out of their accounts automatically. And we'll say, oh, it was for a carbon tax. Yeah, I know you didn't have any say in that, but that's what we do. So anyway, here she is, peddling this garbage, peddling this end of the earth garbage to tap into your fears, folks. That's what she's doing. She's doing what her father has done best for years, being a grifter. So she says, we must urgently reduce the greenhouse gas emissions that are killing us. Special Envoy, WHO Special Envoy for Climate Change and Health, Vanessa Kerry, without aggressive action, we are on track for 2.9 degrees Celsius rise by the century's end, passing a point of no return. Air pollution from fossil fuel use alone accounts for 5 million extra deaths a year around the world, almost as many as we've seen from the entire COVID pandemic. Another construct from these people right here, the elites. If they're aligned with the WEF, you know it's a scam. Yep, it's a Jim Jones cult. And so Montgomery Ranger says, lying liars gonna lie. Pack it in, buttercup. The earth is perfectly capable of taking care of itself. We can help by being aware and considerate, but more taxes won't help. Polluters can always buy more carbon credits. That's a very good point, actually. You can always buy more carbon credits. So it's not pollution doesn't matter. It's just if you have enough money, you can just buy your way through it anyway and dirty up the earth. Okay, so here's the thing. This is not happening. Okay, now climate, does it change? Of course it does. Climate change alarmism. This is a big Ponzi scheme, folks. This is a huge scam, and it's breaking. They're doubling and tripling down right now because there's got to be some awareness among these people at the WEF and the WHO, the UN. They've got to be aware that people are figuring it out now, that it's all crap. And so let's take a gander here. And this is the core content of this video right here, is Conservative Dan shows this, the levels and amount of climate change alarmism, environmental anxiety inducing emergencies and warnings and cautions there's been since 1966. For those that missed it, let's recap. 1966, they said oil will be gone in 10 years. 1967, dire famine forecast by 1975 for the world. 1968, overpopulation will spread worldwide. 1969, everyone will disappear in a cloud of blue steam by 1989. The world will use up all its natural resources by the year 2000. Urban citizens will require gas masks by 1985. Nitrogen buildup will make all land unusable. Decaying pollution will kill all the fish. 1970s, killer bees. Remember all those movies that came out? Yeah, Hollywood was behind the push too. Believe you me, they got paid to do that stuff. Killer bees. Now, there was one with Michael Caine that it was cheesy, but I like Michael Caine. But I remember that. And they made made-for-TV movies, too. So you didn't even have to pay. You just turn on the TV and boom. 1970, Ice Age by 2000. America subject to water rationing by 1974 and food rationing by 1980. New ice age coming by 2020 or 2030. New ice age by 2070. Oil depleted in 20 years. 1974, space satellites show new ice age coming fast. Ice age. Huh. We've been hearing about global warming since like the mid 80s. But apparently in the 70s, the shtick, the gimmick was ice age. And suddenly in 1 year it all changed to, the earth is heating up now. Okay. 1972, oil depleted in 20 years. Let's go down. Ozone depletion, a great peril to life. 1978, no end in sight to 30-year cooling trend. That's what they said in 1978, that the earth would cool and we would face an ice age. But now we're hearing suddenly the earth is heating up and the Maldives will be inundated with water. They were supposed to have been inundated and flooded. They weren't. Acid rain kills life in lakes, 1980. I remember that. Peak oil in 2000. Regional droughts, that never happened in the 90s. Temperatures in D.C. will hit record highs. Maldive Islands will be underwater by 2018. They're not. By the way, rising sea levels will obliterate nations if nothing done by 2000. New York City's West Side Highway underwater by 2019. It is not. Children won't know what snow is. That's what they said in 2000. 2002, famine in 10 years if we don't give up eating fish, meat, and dairy. Oh, that sounds like WEF speak right there. Crickets, peak oil in 2010. Britain will be Siberia in 2024. Manhattan underwater by 2015. Super hurricanes. The Arctic will be ice-free by 2018. Thank you, Al Gore. Climate genius Al Gore predicts ice-free Arctic by 2013. Climate genius Prince Charles says we have 96 months to save the world. UK Prime Minister says 50 days to save the planet from catastrophe. Yes, this is all true, folks. 2009, climate genius Al Gore moves 2013 prediction of ice-free Arctic to 2014. 2013, Arctic ice-free by 2015, only 500 days before climate chaos. 2019, hey Greta, we need you to convince them it's really going to happen this time. Yep, 1966 all the way through 2019. So I just wanted to let you know, this is a scam. It's been going on. They figured, well, the cold thing and the ice age, hawking the ice age propaganda, it's not working. So in the 80s, they whipped up heating up the earth. Okay. Now, as I said before, climate change, yes, it does happen. But this alarmism, this is all a scam since the 60s to get you somehow to drum up free money for the elites for having just your existence. That's why they say you are a carbon footprint. You are the problem. You are the carbon they want to get rid of, right? We see that going around. Yeah, they always say we need to get rid of carbon. Let's look at that. Let's look at that real quick. How is 0.04% of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, of which we're responsible for only 3% killing us? I don't know, folks. That's pretty simple, but it's the truth, though. So let's look at a confirmation here from National Geographic. I'm not going to do that. Let's see, atmospheric composition, nitrogen. Take a look at this. Nitrogen, 78%, oxygen, 20%, argon, 0.93%, carbon dioxide, 0.038%, so 0.04% about. So yeah. Yeah, here it is, 1989 right here. Here's an article. The UN predicts disaster if global warming not checked. Yeah, exactly. If it's not checked. They make things up to take our money and kill us softly. So it serves a couple of purposes, kills two birds with one stone. It's one, to take our money first and then make us a slow death, make sure we die slowly. Starvation, famine, these things will be initiated by governments and policies, not the weather. No, it will not be initiated by the weather. Nope. And they'll blame it. They'll go, see what happened. We don't have food because of the atmosphere, because of what you guys have done, because of carbon. But no, it's policies. Just like in California, many of the policies of like, oh, you're having a drought, you're having this. When the dams were reduced and they said, look, there's no water in the dams, California was actually releasing that water into the ocean. Yeah, unbeknownst to the population, they were actually releasing that into the ocean, so that they could go, oh, see, there's a famine. See, we're convincing you that climate change is real. See? But they were just letting fresh water into the ocean. So killing us, really. This is what Robert Pierre says. Can someone explain to her that CO2 constitutes only 0.04% of total atmosphere and that human activity accounts for approximately 3% of that 0.04%. So 3% of 0.04% is certainly not worth panicking over. We must urgently remove the unelected globalists who are desperate to control our lives, not greenhouse gas emissions. Ban the World Health Organization. They can't be trusted. COVID proved that beyond any doubt. Look at what the Kerry family is involved in. This is interesting. John Kerry and whoever that was up there, Vanessa Kerry, or what's her name? Vanessa Kerry. Let's see. They are involved with, from money and foundation perspective, they don't exist without money incoming. Speaking engagements provide that, as well as donations from firms that sell Save the Climate equipment, EVs, wind turbines, solar. Also, Al Gore associations are with groups that finance such endeavors, study and research people. Let's see. Yep, and now here's the daughter. This is the representative now. Yeah, she's replacing Greta, I think. Greta was just this what a Doom Goblin, kind of this nasty Doom Goblin who has a mental illness. But now we have handed that mantle off to Vanessa now. And Vanessa is supposed to be more reasonable, but you can hear the dramatics and the theatrics in her voice. We are not going to die tomorrow from climate change. We are not going to die next year. We are not going to die in the next 5 years from climate change. What deaths will there be? Probably from government mandates. That's where that stuff will occur. Okay. Forcing you to eat crickets, forcing you to eat terrible, terrible food like Beyond Meat. Yeah, that stuff is horrible for you, by the way. That stuff is jam-packed full of crap. And so, yeah, it's industrial waste. I'll be honest, that stuff's industrial waste. There's a lot of talk by the Kerrys, both father and daughter, but I've never seen them produce any scientific research facts or figures to back up these fantastic claims. The days of trusting what politicians say ended decades ago. Show me the facts or stay quiet. Do you mind speaking to China about it? Have you noticed they never talk to China about this? Although China's got the highest levels of pollution in the entire world. No. Why? Because China's already communist. That's the meme, right? That's the meme going around. Why does China not have to worry about obeying these climate change accords? Because they're already communist. When they're communist, they'll just forget about it. This won't be a thing. So, why is the WHO in everybody's face about climate change? What does the WHO know about climate change or about our health? They should stick to music and leave the rest of us the hell alone, man. This will be interesting to watch as they backpedal this comment after 2025, when the natural cycle of the sun is no longer in solar maximum and putting out the most heat and begins its natural cooling period for the next few decades. That is one of the best points. Just watch, folks, just watch. Will they start mentioning cooling of the earth again? Will they start talking about that again like they did in the 70s? Yeah, there will be a complete reversal. Let's see. And okay, LOL, but make mistake. The agenda is very unfunny. CO2 does not cause any warming. The IPCC ran their computer simulations and concocted this kind of propaganda. They did not even include solar cycles. I wonder why. I'm an advocate of keeping the environment clean, but this is pure nonsense. Me too. That's the thing. I actually love the environment. I have, even though I'm conservative thinker more, I have more, I'm probably definitely more liberal about the environment, I guess. Okay, push the politics aside. Just me, myself, I hate to see mountainsides and forests. I do hate to see it just dug up for the sake of putting in condos or buildings or commercial real estate or something like that. I don't like to see that all the time. I know that growth is good in a way, but some areas I'm like, oh, that was such a pretty area. I hate to see that. So yeah, I have a really close connection with nature, but that's the thing. I don't believe these people though. Just because I am probably more into the environment, I'm still not buying their garbage. I'm not buying this. This is just a grab for money, and it's a way to keep you having a slower death and gathering more resources for the elites. That's all it is. In the name of climate change, I guarantee climate change is going to be an excuse for everything. You've heard AOC talk about how there's racism because of climate change? I mean, that's where we are. It's that ridiculous. Anime Phoenix says, of course, the WHO has a special envoy for climate change. The narratives they spoon feed us are all connected. There's a lot of talk. Let's see. Let's see here. Yeah. By 2010, the ice caps will be gone. By 2015, the ice caps will be gone. By 2020, the ice caps will be gone. The ice caps are still there, right? And the polar bear population has increased quite a bit also. I don't even think she's convincing herself at this point. I know, I kind of get the feeling like she's not convinced. But she's getting paid. She's getting paid. Air pollution from fossil fuel use alone accounts for over 5 million extra deaths per year. This should make them happy since depopulation is the goal. Yeah. John Kerry's daughter says billions of humans must die for the New World Order. Well, I don't know if she said that out loud. I can't confirm that, but she probably said that in one way or another, like in words that don't quite sound so blunt. But yeah, that is their wish. 2080. The Earth has just 12 years left. Yes, Greta, keep pushing it, pushing that agenda. There are over 3,000 coal power plants in China, but farting cows are a problem. Yeah, and there's 7 million wildebeests in Africa. How come they don't go after them? Well, because they're not really a food source for us. They're only going after something that's going to be a food source for humans. See, when I was born, there were 16,000 polar bears. Today, there are 29,000 polar bears. So, yeah. So you worked out a pollution reduction agreement with China and India. Has your dad and other private jet massive polluters agreed to their ground planes? Yeah, these are the same people that fly around the world and have a carbon footprint that will forever be bigger than yours. No matter what you do in your life, about 99% of the world will not even approach the size of the carbon footprint of John Kerry, Al Gore, etc., Bill Gates. But they believe they are demigods. Remember, they believe they're demigods. That they're some sort of messiahs. I believe there's a partially that they believe that to a degree, but really underneath it all, they just are simply people who are pushing an agenda and getting a lot of money for nothing. Getting a lot of money for producing nothing but fear. Fear makes tons of money nowadays, and a lot of people fall for it. So anyway, thanks for watching, folks. Let me know what you think. I always have to laugh at this. And of course, I'll get a contextual climate change note on my YouTube video, because that's what YouTube does right now. They make sure to censor or explain things that they consider conspiracies. Like, the conspiracy isn't climate change. The conspiracy is people speaking out against it. And that's when you know they're BSing you. And so if you see a contextual note on there, don't be surprised at all. It's just part of YouTube's bullshit. So anyway, thanks for watching, folks, and I will talk to you later. Bye.